One and all to MEA 490, the first semester of our senior project, year-long or two-semester senior project sequence. I would like to welcome everyone aboard and introduce myself. I am Professor Paul Linden, and I will be your generous host and manager of this process for the semester. When I say manager of the process, I'm referring to the fact that you will be working more with me at the beginning, and then you'll identify a professor that is a sponsor. In other words, a specialist in your specific area. And then by the 491 semester, you will be working mostly independently according to the plan that you iron out this semester. And so this semester is all about planning. And so one thing I can kind of share with you here is the kind of philosophy between, why do we have it designed the way that we do? And so when you look at, 490 and 491 as a sequence, the first half of that sequence is going to be a writing intensive class, right? And we transition you from this semester to the 491 semester into a more production intensive. Now, production meaning your creative project, if that's what you intend to do, or you can also do produce a research paper and completely satisfy the requirements for the class, which this is the capstone 491. 490 is the research writing intensive section that prepares 491. In this semester, the course will be follow a structure that I've laid out for you. And then that leads you to 491, where the course is structured mostly by the proposal that you have, that you will put together this semester. And so your work this semester is creating the schedule and really the syllabus for next semester's work. This semester, our course is aimed toward the proposal, which we're going to finish with, and everything that you do, every assignment in this class will be integrated and cumulatively sort of become your proposal. And then next semester, the course will be aimed at using the proposal to complete your project, whether it's a creative project or a research project / paper. This semester is going to be focusing on reflection and using your imagination to consider, to get in touch with what you want to do, what that means in terms of what other people have done, your professional possibilities, the career landscape, the kind of professional future you want to have, versus next semester will be focused much more on the execution of a specific plan and the realization of a vision that you have. And so that is the philosophy of how these two courses, or how the senior project, which used to be just kind of like one semester, get ready, set, go, what can you do in a semester, is in fact not as impressive as what you can do in 2 semesters, as long as you have the correct structure and preparation for that. So you'll notice that the class is set up as a hybrid class, and there are a few different reasons for that. The first of which is according to the university's requests. Since the outbreak of the virus, any classes that could be held virtually were encouraged to be done that way. This class does require some face-to-face interaction, and so this is a hybrid kind of a setup. I am favoring for personal reasons, which I'll get into in just a second, but doing a little bit more distance learning at the beginning. Part of that rationale is that we are currently at, I think, one 9/11 size disaster in terms of loss of life, 3,000 to 4,000 people a day. And so the timing of this quote second wave of the virus is personally impactful to me because I'm the designated caregiver for my elderly family member, and I have some of your faculty may have already had a shot or may not have parents that are still alive that they need to care for, and so the universities between the universities rationale and my personal situation. That's kind of where we are in terms of how this hybrid is going to be leaning a little bit on the distance learning for the first part of the class. But individual, face-to-face meetings will be necessary, especially as you identify the professors that are in your area who have the most to offer you in terms of executing your vision and your plan for the senior project. And so every student will, the proposals can be done as individual proposals or as group proposals, but every proposal will have a faculty mentor, faculty sponsor that goes along with that. And so we'll have a couple weeks at the beginning here to give you time to reflect and to reach out to identify who those sponsors might be. So we'll get into that a little bit more. That will be part of the face-to-face component. Another part of the face-to-face component will be individual meetings that I have with you, either individuals or individual projects, which once again can be groups of up to usually 3 or so students for a group project is a safe kind of size in terms of upper limit. But in any case, meeting individually with you all is necessary because, this is no longer just music business or just video production or just students who want to do, broadcast or, business, entertainment management, for example. So now that we're all together in this new department, there is no class that can, there's no textbook for sure that covers a curriculum that's that broad, from audio to video to business management to broadcast, etc. And we've even got folks that have gotten into to sports management and esports and various kinds of research agendas that go along with that. So it's very, very broad. So the way that I'm managing this process will be much more as an independent studies management. So there are, in any given semester, 10 to 20 students or 15 to 30 students in this class. It usually turns into about 12 to 15 different independent studies. Now, this semester, it's a little bit, in the spring semester, fewer students are starting the 2 sequence 490 to 491. So it's a slightly smaller class. And so this is not to say that the class gains nothing by, meeting together. And so the way the class is structured will have a group meeting component, which will be satisfied at least at the beginning and throughout the semester as a virtual collection of presentation videos with comments that's provided by a YouTube channel. So I've created a class YouTube channel, and each week has a playlist, and each playlist has an invitation that people who can post to that playlist can respond to. And so I've created a video about how to create and post videos onto these different playlists. So that's to kind of address the question of, what components are virtual and why, what components are face-to-face and why. Just as an overview, a lot of this, of course, is subject to modification, especially in the event that a student or a group needs a little bit more clarification and wants to meet face to face. Naturally, I can do that. And you will also have additional faculty member that comes in on a per group or per project basis as a faculty sponsor. And so there will be opportunities to get the guidance and the direction that you need. It's just that, as I mentioned at the beginning, this 490, 491 sort of pairing of classes is very intentionally designed in a very specific way. So I guess it's a good time to take a look at the syllabus. So let's see. 490 syllabus. Okay, so let's check this out. Wow, the whole thing just completely disappeared. Okay, that was kind of funny. All right, so the syllabus is uploaded to the Canvas site, which we'll look at next. Once again, the name of the game here is to allow for students to have the ability to reflect and strategically design a proposal, either for a creative project in the, quote, media arts, especially as they are represented by our areas, so audio, music management, video production being some of those. And so the idea is, once you have a strong proposal, students will work on that through the semester and then present it to the faculty of the entire MEA program, who will then try to identify weaknesses. And so students will be presenting the proposal in the form of a defense, which is usually an exercise, an academic exercise for graduate school. But it's a situation where you work on a proposal and you present it, and then the faculty comes back and tries to question to identify weaknesses. The goal of which being is that once you identify and understand weaknesses in the proposal, that you have the opportunity to shore those up, and the entire proposal and project becomes stronger as a result of that. That being said, the faculty does have the right to recommend that a student return, and we have had few, but some students that do not get through 490 on the first try. So you need to be pretty meticulous with this course, because 491, the capstone, is required for graduation, and everything starts now in terms of 491 depends on 490. And 490 is not a ton of work, but it's very specifically designed and strategically designed work. There's no, as I mentioned, there's no textbook for the class. So when you look at the course materials, there are some recommendations, especially for the project students, having an external hard drive or a high-powered computing system. Of course, all of the facilities of the program are at your disposal as well. In terms of how the grading elements are identified here, you've got your everything that you do, from posting a video on the class YouTube page to introduce yourself and to show that you understand how to interact with the class YouTube page. That's an easy 3-point assignment there at the beginning, all the way through your couple of reflective writing assignments at 10 points each at the beginning of the semester. And then you do your investigation assignments, which are going to be research, academic research and creative research into works and the meaning of what it is that you do. There will be 5 of those presentations for 10 points each, and they get to 50 points. And then finally, your assignments, declaration assignments, so your statement of purpose, and your proposal draft, and finally your final proposal, all add up to 30 points. So you get around 100 or a little bit more than 100 points, but it's not an average system. So everything you get goes into the bucket, and then at the end your points can add up to as much as 100, or maybe a little extra credit like 102, 103. Okay, this is really important, the proposal versus the project track. So you don't have to declare which track you're on right now. As I mentioned, both tracks will satisfy the requirements that the university has for capstone as a requirement for graduating from the university. At about halfway through the semester, students will declare whether they intend to pursue a creative project or whether they intend to pursue a research paper in the 491 class time. And so this particular section discusses that. You should note that in the 491 class next semester, if students are not showing sufficient progress in the estimation of the faculty sponsor, that the faculty sponsor can recommend that those students are taken off of the project track in enough time to satisfy to actually write a research paper and then graduate on time. So if they feel that there's no way that you can do a satisfactory project next semester, students can be moved from the project track to the research track. Students also can move themselves from the research track or the paper track to the project track, but that would be voluntarily done, and there's a deadline for that, which is usually at the beginning of the first week of 491. This section talks about the faculty sponsors and mentors. And so basically, as I mentioned, you've got one per project, and you have to meet with them a specific, about once every 3 weeks in both 490 and 491, once you've identified them in 490. And then they, in turn, will give an periodic assessments to me about this student or project is on track or is not on track. And that allows me to address the situation, or in the worst case scenario, switch, if it's getting too late in the game, to switch students from one track to the other so that they still have a shot at graduating on time. There are various types of academic support resources that are available to students at the university. So if you've got concerns about doing presentations, better writing skills, speaking skills, those are all available out of the Writing and Speaking Center from out of the library. Okay, now the last page of this is the calendar, and I usually put the calendar as a standalone document on the class Canvas page, but I just want to show you that you'll see that things are color-coded here. So I'll start meeting with folks. That's what these highlighted yellow ones are. So when February hits, I'll start meeting with individual students to discuss about where you're leaning in terms of your project ideas, paper or creative project, and then what area you want to work in. Then you will select your project advisor or the faculty mentor, and then you'll start meeting with them. By the end of, after I've met with you, you have a green light to meet with your faculty sponsor for the first time. And then you'll come back around and we will meet again once in March. And then at the end of the semester as well. So there are at least 4 different times where there will be face-to-face meetings. Much of the rest of the time, the interactions that you'll have will be done either via Canvas, and the Canvas color of assignments are blue down here. And so you have a writing assignment due next week, or actually the week of the 25th. Yes, that's next week. And you can see that that's in blue print right there. There are some projects that go straight to YouTube, and they're in green. And so I need you to introduce yourself to the class and upload that video to the YouTube page. And that's by Sunday at midnight this week. And so that's the first thing you've got to do. And so this color coding here, you can see, tells you what kind of responsibilities you have at what point in the semester and where and how it's due. You'll also see that some are on Canvas and on YouTube. And so when you start doing your research articles, Okay, I'm going to teach you all how to conduct academic research in the library in your area of interest. You'll have a week to research articles. You pick one that's interesting to you, and you write a couple of paragraphs on it. One synopsis, and the other one is, what's the relevance of it, especially to your area and a potential use in a project. So that's due on Tuesday, which would be on Canvas. So that's the Canvas part. But then there's also a YouTube component, and that is on Thursday. So things with red mean that you have to do YouTube and Canvas. So we've got 5 articles. Those research articles are occurring down here. 2 in February, 2 in March, and 1 at the end of March and beginning of April. I think that's, in fact, April the 1st is a Thursday. Okay, there are other writing assignments that are also involved. For example, you have to choose the project or paper track at this point, which is the first week in March. Statement of purpose is a writing assignment, 6-page writing assignment that's due the second week of March. 2 weeks after that, a draft of your proposal, third week of March. And then finally, you upload the proposal and you present the proposal, your idea on YouTube, and then you defend that proposal. So all of the different aspects, then you'll have all the different aspects are kind of put out on the calendar here. You will have a week after the initial proposal and the attempt to defend it from faculty questions. If those questions raise enough concern, the faculty panel will request that you go back and edit your proposal, so you've got a week to do that, and then you may have to defend it again, but that all depends on the recommendation of the faculty panel, also known as the faculty jury. And then the last week of class, we will have the senior showcase for 491, and that will give you students in 490 a chance to see what the students that are one semester ahead of you are doing. The showcase selections are the best of the best. So the jury will make recommendations to me about which of the senior projects from 491 they would like to have representing our entire program on university websites and to professionals in the field. And that gives an extra it's kind of an award that you can get that is good for inclusion on your resume, for example. So here is the last page of the syllabus, which is the class calendar. And this class calendar is designed to coincide exactly with the class Canvas page. So let's go check that out real quick. Okay, so this is my view of the class Canvas page. Let's look at your view and see how it's different. All right. So you'll notice a rubric or a module called Start Here, a module called Essential Class Documents, a module called Writing Assignments, which are divided into orientation assignments, those first ones that are due. The first reflective assignments that are due next week are 1 and 2, for example. And then you've got your investigation and declaration assignments. So you are investigating your topic area, and then you're declaring, what your values are as a creator, and you're putting that into a draft proposal of 3 pages, and then your final proposal as well. And so when you click on that, you should be able to see fairly detailed instructions about how long, how well it should be, how it should be organized, etc. And then I have some resources like recommended websites, websites for film, video, broadcast, and audio students as well. So different kind of additional things that will help you. These can be good places to find articles if you're having a hard time finding them in the library, for example, or online in academic sources. You will also be given points for going to the this discussion board. And so because we're finding that the projects that have partnerships in them, so projects that are not just an individual doing something, but someone from broadcast or someone from video working with someone from audio and someone from business, for example, when those people come together, we find that the projects are much stronger. And so typically in those situations, you've got someone who's got an idea of what they've got, what they want to do, but they don't have all of the skills necessary to do it. So for example, I want to have, say, a songwriter showcase. So all of the, Hattiesburg songwriter talent come together and have a writers in the round kind of live performance. So I'm going to need a venue. I'm going to need live sound. I want to record it and upload the video to YouTube. But all I have is, say, the music business and event programming, sort of the event production, live event production skill set. So I have the vision for it. And so I would be a project leader who's looking for specialists. And this would therefore be like using a help wanted section in a music industry magazine or even a local classified ads. Now, if you don't necessarily have a vision of what it is that you want to do, but you'd like to get on board with a project, then you've got a skill set or you're a specialist and you're looking for a project that's already going. And so you would go to the for hire section and say, I know how to operate a video camera and do video editing software, and I'm available for for inclusion in a project where someone's looking for that skill set. And so this is a very real world mindset here to recognize what you have and what you need, and to position yourself relative to communities that can complete the other side of that puzzle. And so this is the discussion area, and this is where you're going to have some extra credit points available just by posting, this is what I want to do. I'm looking for someone, in this with this skill set, or I have a skill set, but I'm looking for a group to join up with. I had a student in the last couple semesters who wanted to read more about esports as part of where our industries are looking towards, especially our program. And so there are readings. There are really two good esports books that are available out there right now. And so these are some chapters from those books that I've got for you. So those are the, all of your assignments except for the presentation video. Upload a video of yourself for 2 points right here. And then all of the other assignments are down here in the writing assignments. They all have their dates with them, especially when you get down to the research articles. You'll remember that before we get to the research articles, I will share with you a presentation from our USM library that is specifically geared towards the entertainment arts and multimedia students in terms of how to find articles and books and general resources that you can use for your presentations. In terms of what do I expect in these presentations, all you have to do is click on the link and you've got detailed instructions about the steps that are required to fulfill that. How will the presentations be graded? You can see there's a lot of grades that are due to making video presentations of yourself. Well, there should be, and I believe there is, a rubric for presentations here. So it's under Essential Class Documents. You'll see the syllabus and the presentation rubric, as well as the faculty advisor form that you've got to turn in on February the 17th, right down here on 9/9. That actually should be 2/9. Should be 2/17. Hold up, y'all. I'm doing editing and everything. There we go. On 2/17, you've got this form due. And where do you find the form? It's right up here in, you guessed it, Essential Class Documents. But I wanted to show you how your presentations will be graded. So you click on Presentation Rubric, and you get the spinning wheel of death, and then finally you get my points. So these all add up to 20 points, which I'll cut in half because each presentation is 10 points. But, do you have a clear introduction? Do you have a conclusion? Do you go back at the end and be like, okay, here's the main points of what I hit? Do you look the part? Do you use and explain specialized language or specialized lingo, etc.? So this is available to you so you know exactly how you're being graded. Okay, so now the question is, what is the weekly routine? So what I've got here is all of these dates. Adhere to a weekly routine so that there is a rhythm or a pattern to the class. And that pattern will be a little bit different at the very beginning of the semester where we are now, or at the very end of the semester where we will be at the second half of April. For everything in between there, on Tuesdays at midnight, your writing assignments for Canvas are due. On Thursdays at midnight, any video presentations you've got to make on the YouTube channel are due. And it's Sundays at midnight, your student comments and YouTube discussions on Canvas are due. And so this is your class participation grade here, which is essentially a letter's grade worth of points. Instead of counting for absent or present, I will just simply make a check for every comment that I find, and students with, and so you've got 5 different projects to present on. So you should at least be commenting on 4 of those different 5 presentations. Then you've got the final presentation as well. So yeah, 4 out of 6 is considered to be satisfactory. So please do make sure that you comment on each other's videos. And you can get a point, as I mentioned, when you go into those discussion boards and say that you're looking for a specialist to help in your area. Okay, so not all of these assignment types are due every week. You'll have to make sure you check the syllabus and the class calendar to see exactly what's due and when. But generally speaking, if you have a Canvas assignment, it's due on Tuesday. If you have a video to upload, which is most weeks, that's going to be due on Thursday. And then you'll have the weekend to look over each other's videos and then to leave some comments, some constructive comments about that. Okay, so now let's look over at the class YouTube page. Okay, it's called MEA Senior Project, and you can see that there are the 491 students are posting here, as well as the 490 students. When you go over to the playlists, actually, let me go to the welcome videos. Okay, so I am posting in the process of making one of these welcome videos. It will show up here. But these help you see how do I navigate the course and the course overview. How do I make and post videos to the YouTube channel, for example, etc. So hopefully this will help you sort of get started in terms of the semester. The things you have to do for this, in the immediate future are to, by the 25th, which is Sunday night, upload a video introduction of yourself and to comment on at least 3 other students' videos so that you can get to know each other a little bit. And then after that, for next week, we'll get right into writing assignments 1 and 2. They are relatively short and easy. Just make a point to look at those, and we'll be on our way after that. So it's going to get us to the end of January there, and then we will be having a meeting, or I'll be posting a video, I should say, for what happened to my syllabus. I'm not sure, but there is the library presentation is that 3rd week where there's not an assignment due, but you have to do it in order to be prepared for the following week, which is your first of the 5 different article presentations, researching articles in your area. Okay, let me know if you've got any questions. I'd also like to encourage you to start thinking about senior project ideas. It's going to be a while before, be halfway through the semester before I actually ask you to put something down in terms of an idea that you might be committing to in terms of a draft. But having a general idea of what kind of project is interesting to you will help you answer some of the questions you're going to have to answer soon, which is what area am I working in? So what professor would be a good faculty sponsor or mentor? And then two, do I have the skills? What kinds of other groups of people in our community of students? What kind of skills do I need, and what kind of partners? What might I be looking for if I choose something along those lines? All right. Well, this is our first meeting. Make sure that you watch the how to make and upload videos to the class YouTube page as well, and let me know if you've got any questions. Thank you, and good night.